Redondo Beach. How are you? That answers it. Now this is time for us to stand and sing The Joy in the World. All righty. We're going to sing.
We're not singing Joy
God
in
is
the World,
my
though.
source.
That's good.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Back to God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Excellent. Yay. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Paresh and I are here to give you some announcement. The first thing I want to do is just say what a joyful day it is. It's a pleasure to be here. Yay for you. Do you know how beautiful you are? Yes. Good. You are. You're beautiful. Welcome to Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. We are here awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. So are you feeling spiritually magnificent today? Yes. Woo, good. Glad to hear it. And we come together because we know there's a power for good in the universe. And we're constantly moving into a deeper sense of that and connection. And as we join together in spiritual community, we find that opportunity to connect, to feel that presence even more deeply, and to be inspired. So thank you for being here for a moment of inspiration. I do have a couple of things I want to just share with you. One of them is we moved the library. We're so excited. It was hiding behind the reception area up there in a little office. It's now in the library on the left side. And I want to say a big thank you to Robin and Reverend Valerie because, wow, it was huge. Reverend Valerie's with the children today, so otherwise I'd have her go yay because it was a big job. So we have a lot of books available for you to pick up for free. They're leftovers from the library. We just kept the ones that we thought people might want to check out. So check the table over by the door to the parking lot. Take some books home. We'd love that. That's not all. We have something even better to give away. We have 5 big, tall, strong, and sturdy bookshelves. So they're available. If you walk into Richelieu Hall, you'll see a couple of them on the side, on their left. If you go into the between room, out from Richelieu Hall, you'll see 3 more bookshelves. And don't worry, the shelves are there, even though they aren't on the shelves. So see if you want a new bookshelf. Take it away today. We'd be happy to have you do that. Lots of good things happening. Paresh is part of our stewardship committee. We've met twice. We're creating a budget. We're doing a lot of work. And I'm just excited to be here working with you all to create a deeper sense of what it is we do, which is transforming lives, healing, revealing love, and being the light in the world. And so now Paresh has more for you.
Thank you.
What else do you have? Yeah, thank you.
Good morning. So the Teen Bake Sale is today. Yay, teens, over after service. So come on over and give yourself some calories to give to someone else maybe, or just some sweetness for your joy, and support our teens. So that will be today after service. Our women's circle, we will be meeting in the Wilderness Park today after service. So bring your own lunch and feel free to join. Anyone's welcome. Next Sunday, we will be celebrating Juneteenth, and we have a potluck and an amazing program after service over in Richelieu Hall. There's a sign-up sheet for the potluck at the activities table outside. Let's see, next Friday will be our summer swing concert, Friday, June 23rd at Richelieu Hall, and that will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and admissions free, so come swing with us. We have a brainstorming session to begin planning for the expansion of our youth program, and that will be Saturday, June 24th at 2 p.m. We'd love your ideas. The youth are so important to our present and to our future, and it would be great for you to contribute your ideas. That will be June 24th, 2 p.m., and sign up at the activities table. June 25th, after service, is a discovery class, and it's an opportunity to learn a bit more about our center and philosophy. If you're new, come join. If you've been here for a while, refresh yourself on why we're here. It's free, it's fun, it's short, and everyone is welcome. You can still join the Spiritual Principles and Practices class with with Reverend Catherine. The second class will be this Thursday. It's at 10 a.m., and it's a 5-week class. Again, it's in Richelieu Hall. Join us every Sunday before this service for the Science of Mind Sunday class. It's from 10:15 to 10:45, and gives you a taste of Ernest Holmes right before service. In the foyer is our activity table, and we have sign-up sheets for Divine Dining. Hey, who's been to Divine Dining before? Woo-woo, right? It's a lot of fun, different themed activities, really special events. So check out the sign-up sheet out in the foyer today. On the back cover of your program are the 2 book studies that are underway. So feel free to check those out and join us for the book studies. And last of all, a big thank you. To do all of these activities requires a lot of volunteers and support. So a big thank you, big hand to all of our volunteers. You might be one yourself, so give yourself a hand, and we appreciate you so much. If you're interested in volunteering, we're always looking for new volunteers to support all these activities and support one another. All right, well, with that, I will hand back off.
Monica, take it down to Monica. It's that time of service when we just sort of let go of the outer world and turn within. So would you just join me? If you wish, close your eyes. Relax. Opening heart and mind to the one presence, one life. I know this presence is deep grounding peace. And so we ground in that. We feel that sense of, peace. Oneness with the divine. It is light and love, unbounded love. It is joy, and we live in that joy. Infinite intelligence, dynamically creating all that is in the universe. God. So knowing that we are one in this one, we live and move and have our being uniquely as spirit. I just speak a word for our time together, our service, for all those who participated, for the music, the inspiration, the speakers. And I know that our time together today is blessed in 1,000 ways. It is a time to opening up more fully to possibilities, to living in joy, the joy of spirit, to feeling blessed, and to moving and living from our own sense of the divine, our spiritual magnificence. I know our time together is perfect just the way it is, so I release this word, just accepting that it's already done. And my heart is so grateful. I let go, knowing it is good, and so it is.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. In this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, one Spirit, is in this very room.
Good morning. Thank you. That was beautiful. Dr. Sharon's talk title today is Welcome to My World, and the subtitle of her talk could be Living the Science of Mind. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, says, one of the great difficulties of new thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. We only know as much as we can prove by actual demonstration. In this teaching, we call ourselves practitioners, not philosophers or theorists. I don't want to just talk the talk. I strive to walk the walk. My mother frequently told me, actions speak louder than words. We've also heard similar advice of practice what you preach. In my aim of creating the life I truly desire, I don't want to just gather more and more information. I want to know how to put the theory into practical application. I want to gain competence and mastery so I can use the law intentionally and skillfully. Recently, Mark and I have been doing some clearing out of items in our home, and we've been setting aside those things that we plan to donate for our center's next yard sale in September. Mark came across a workbook that he got when he attended a business seminar in January some 25 years ago. He held it up to show me, and in big letters, the word success is written on the front. Mark said, "This is the book that I use to attract you into my life." Today, when we take a look at the material in that workbook, it's Science of Mind teaching, packaged under a different title. Tomato, tomato. They're both just the same thing with a different name. Although Mark took the seminar to gain greater success in his career, he soon came to the conclusion that he could apply most of what he learned to other areas of his life, including the area of relationships. Coincidentally, or not, that same January, some 25 years ago, I was done with a 5-year relationship that was not going in the direction of my intentionally designed and crafted affirmation of, I am in a loving, committed, mutually supportive partnership based on integrity and respect. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says, know that thought will meet the desires of some other person who is wanting the same thing, and in some way the two will come together. This is the meaning of those catchy phrases, like attracts like, and that which I am seeking is seeking me. Interestingly, neither Mark nor I would have scripted the person who was responsible or the manner in which we were brought together 2 months later. And 4 months after that, I said yes to his marriage proposal. this stuff works when we work it. It's because of Science of Mind teaching that I learned and came to apply change your thinking and you change your life. So today, I can truthfully say, and mean it, welcome to my world. Please affirm with me, today I choose the good I desire. Today I choose the good I desire. And I go forth to greet it. And so it is. And let's welcome up Douglas Sladner.
Good morning. Who knows what tomorrow brings? In a world few hearts survive. All I know is the way I feel. When it's real, I keep it alive. The road is long, and there are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world below, up where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to used-to-bes. They live their lives looking behind. But all we have is here and now. All our lives out there to find. And the road is long. There are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Time goes by, no time to cry. Life's you and I, alive today. Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. what tomorrow brings.
Wow. Thank you, Douglas Latnier and David Copper. That was so good. You know what's interesting is that the title of my talk changed. Did you notice? Welcome to my world, living the science of mind became moving mountains. And then we get a song about mountains. There's a God thing going on here. It's just amazing how this works. Whew. I'm grateful. So I thought today, because I'm new with you, and we have new people that have been coming, especially since we had our sort of New Age Expo here, that I would just get back to basics in a different way by talking about where we came from, what we teach, what we believe, what we share. And I want you to know that we have an amazing philosophy, way of life, faith that does transform lives and moves mountains. If there's any mountains in your life you'd like to move, even just a little, today I'm going to tell you all the secrets, okay? I'm ready. Let's do that. So, of course, I know most of you know some of our history. Dr. Ernest Holmes didn't even finish high school. He was Mr. Question Mark. He was curious about everything. And so he's self-educated. He studied the Bible. He studied world religions. He studied philosophy. He was a lifelong learner, always looking for, really trying to understand, and science. How does science? His goal was that science, in fact, he says in the book, The Science of Mind, he says, there will come a day when science and religion will walk hand in hand. And we're already seeing that with quantum physics. We understand now that a wave, based on who's observing the wave and their expectation, can become a particle or remain a wave. Wow, the power we have to change something into matter from energy. So there's something great going on here. Ernest Holmes had a couple things that really influenced his life. One was, he said when he read Emerson, and Emerson talks about having your own voice. He says, no matter what the world's opinion, speak your opinion loudly. Stick to your truth. Doesn't matter what others think or say. And should you change tomorrow what you think different than today, speak that loudly too. Just take charge. Be who you are. Speak the truth, right? And he said that he had a throat condition before he started studying Emerson, and that gave him, it shifted his whole view of life, of the world. It was a healing for him. His throat condition went away. Another thing that he did probably a little later in life, you may have heard this story. His mother, Anna Holmes, had a heart condition. And he had been studying the teachings of Jesus. We have the teachings of Jesus in our Science of Mind book. He has a whole section talking about the teachings of Jesus. He decided that he would pray the way Jesus did, expecting her to be healed. So he prayed in great faith, I would say, in great faith. And of course, she was healed. She went on to live another 50 years. So these things influenced him. What he did was he was always reading things. Somebody finally said, all these books here were in your office. I'd like to know. He started discussing them, and this man invited him to come to his home and share what he was thinking and what he was reading. He invited some friends. From that little thing, it started in a small group. Finally, there were so many people, Ernest Holmes rented a hall. And he made a little bit of money after he paid the rent. But he filled the hall, and pretty soon the hall was overflowing, and they went to a theater, and they moved. They were at the Wiltern. They were at 2 different theaters in Los Angeles, turning hundreds away because he had such wisdom to share and was so eloquent. So, what do we believe? What do we teach? Do you have an elevator talk when someone says, what is that thing you go to? What do they teach? What do they believe? Do you have that? Are you ready? Well, hopefully you'll get some gems and you can take them with you. But it does depend for me on who you're talking to. If you're talking to someone that comes from a very fundamentalist background, you may say different things than if you're talking to someone who is a Hindu, for instance. What I want you to know is we understand that there are many paths to God, many paths to God. And whatever path you're on, and wherever you are on that path, you're welcome here. This is a place where, and one of the things he calls this is religious science, and it's scientific in that we get to be the great explorers. We get to decide what our truth is. So the first thing we really teach and know is that there's a power for good in the universe. And I'll bet every one of you has a different idea of God and a different sense of a relationship with this divine presence, right? I don't think the way I feel God, know God, see God is exactly the way you do. So what I've discovered, and I absolutely believe this 100%, is that this something, and Ernest Holmes was great. He used all these different names. You know, we used the universe with a capital U, mind with a capital M, spirit with a capital S, lots of different ways, consciousness with a capital C. This is all the divine. But what I've discovered is that this presence, whatever it is, shows up according to our faith. I read a book once called Coming Home, had 5 stories of people of different faiths, and their amazing spiritual experiences. A Hindu having an interaction with one of the Hindu gods. Very real and powerful. So we know there's this presence. It is, the second thing really is that it is everywhere. And ultimately the second thing is that we ourselves are divine by nature. I have a slide with a quote on it from Ernest Holmes that talks about this. He says more than this. He says, "You belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion." Ooh, can you just feel into that? Oh, this original flow of life. So we see the divinity in all. And sometimes that's hard to do when they're not treating you well or judging you or being unkind, right? My goal is to see through the eyes of love and understand that's more about them than it is about me, and stand in the presence of God's peace and understanding and discover what's possible. Discover what's possible. So number 1, God is all there is. Number 2, we are one with God. We are divine at our very core. There is something in us that knows our truth self. It's never been wounded. With it, all things are possible. It is a peaceful part of the self. It is also wise. I can turn to that within that divine presence and find guidance for my life. And you know, it takes time to develop that relationship. And here's the thing, God isn't something out there. And I heard a minister once say, God's not in you like ink is in a pen. God's in you like the whole pen. Like, let's take a drop of water from the ocean. It has all the elements of the ocean, and yet it is not the whole ocean. That's us, okay? Let's be a drop in the ocean. All that divine is the very essence and core of our beings. Sounds good, right? Whew. It's enough to start with. We could just go home now. I think that that's really all we need to know. But then there's another thing that's even better, and that is that as it is done unto you as you believe, that our faith actually transforms the waves into particles and creates our life. That's a big one, isn't it? So I think there's another quote that says something about this. Oh, yeah. This is something Jesus said in the book of Mark. Have faith in God. I tell you the truth. If anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart and believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received. That's the secret, right? So that picture was taken in Big Sky, Montana, and that's Lone Mountain. I took that picture myself. I thought it was pretty good. What do you think? Budding photographer here. So we really have this amazing power. And yet, when bad things happen, what do you say to yourself? Dang. I thought I had the consciousness that would never let this happen to me. And it's hard, isn't it? But so the only thing I've come up with, this is just my theory, and I think it's true, is that we're part of something greater. The collective consciousness of humanity, the consciousness of our family, our cultural way of seeing the world, our really true deepest expectations. And it's not all up to us. Like, I can't control everything in the world. I can control a lot, and I can also control how I respond to things that happen in life, right? But that doesn't mean that we won't have little things happen along the way. It's what we do with them then that makes a difference. So we can and do manifest amazing things. We used to say we could manifest princes, palaces, and parking places. And I bet you some of you have done that, right? I've manifested parking places, princes, and palaces all over the place. It's a joy, simply a joy. We've had good parking places at the bank recently. It's wonderful because it's not easy there. But it's actually bigger than that. It's more than that, isn't it? It's about dealing with your everyday life. It's about discovering what you really want. And it's not so much about the thing you might want. It's about how you will feel when you have it. An old example is, a young man wants a red Ferrari. You could pray for a red Ferrari and maybe get yourself a red Ferrari, but what is back of that? What is the thing that you're really hungry for? Attracting women, right? Okay, let's just get down to it. Let's get down to it. So if you want a new relationship, the way that you pray with faith, without even saying a word, is just begin to really embody the experience you desire. Experience you desire. Begin to feel that you're in a loving, supportive, equal, amazing relationship, and it will be yours. That's how I got my husband, the third one. The third one. The third one. Well, it's a process, right? By then, I had a group of people praying with me, and they wrote beautiful spiritual mind treatments, which is spiritually treating my mind and theirs to know this wonderful truth. And they described a relationship beyond what I could have made up. And I've been married, I've been with John for 35 years this summer. Woohoo! This stuff works. And third time's the charm, bottom line, right? So, I want to touch on now that you got the basics, you got the principles, right? When I'm talking to someone, my short spiel is, we believe God is all there is. We believe it is done unto you as you believe, and that as you begin to change your mind and have faith in good comes into your life. And of course, I expand depending on who it is. But there you go. You can go home and talk in the elevators to people now, right? So I want to just hit on the basic things, like, what do we think about the Bible? Were you wondering? I used to teach a metaphysical Bible. The Bible is actually a library of 66 books written by different people over ages. And it comes from an oral tradition where stories were told. It contains history, some history, real history. It contains allegory, teaching stories. It contains poetry and letters. It's diverse, and it covers a long expanse of time. If you look at the Bible from the Old Testament, in the beginning of the Old Testament, God was a God of one people, the Israelites. He was judgmental, and he could be kind of mean, punishing. Even in the Old Testament, the concept of God was evolving. By the end of the Old Testament, God is now a God of all people. That's a big change, isn't it? A God of all people. What the Bible really is humankind's experience of the divine and trying to understand, teach morals, teach what's right. And some of that stuff in there we don't believe today, I hate to tell you. And yeah, you don't want to read Deuteronomy, or we'd be breaking the laws all over the place. So the Bible then evolves into the New Testament where there's a newness. Along comes the teachings of Jesus. And instead of the Father out there that's doing something to us, it's the Father within that doeth the works. There's a sense of a loving God, right? And so I'm going to move from what do we believe about the Bible to what do we really believe about Jesus. We do not believe Jesus was the only Son of God. He said to us, "These and greater things than these shall you do." He was showing us the way, knowing that it is the Father within. It is that dynamic presence of the divine that doeth the works, that creates. Our job is to know the highest truth and see what's possible, yes? So we see Jesus as the great way shower, a great way shower, knowing that he was teaching love. He was teaching accept those that were outcasts, the Good Samaritan as an example. You know, even the tax collector, the people that you would think were, you know, on the outside. So his message was the possibility for having a wonderful life. He said, I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. He was teaching the joy of God. So now we move on to those favorite topics of mine. Let's see, sin, heaven, and hell. You want to hear about those today? The ABCs of science of mind? So sin is a good one. Did you know that the word sin originally is just an archery term? It meant to miss the mark when you're shooting an arrow. And we've taken on some huge burden about that word, haven't we? Many people. All it means is you made a mistake, and you're not punished for your mistakes by something outside of you. There's a natural consequence, yes? Could we just, get rid of any harsh idea about sinning or our mistakes? Even I still think that we should make mistakes. We should fail bravely, because then only then are we living life fully, right? So that took care of sin. Are you happy with that? Are you okay? There's no such thing as original sin. In fact, I probably have 2 slides. I skipped one. Let's go back. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is the power of our thoughts. So this idea that we have the power to change our lives through what we think, this is from the sayings of the Buddha, the Dhammapada. So I'm jumping back to that. What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is a creation of our mind. If a person speaks or acts with a pure mind, joy follows him as his own shadow. This idea of the power of our mind is known throughout most sacred traditions. And I was surprised when my dad told me a story. When he was in school, he lived in Montana, went to a one-room school, way out, out in the country somewhere. And everybody would take their horses and go down to the river to give him a drink at lunchtime. And he didn't go that day, but he decided that he would wait. And then he thought, I should go. So he started to go down. Well, they're already starting to head back. And he thought, well, I'll just race him back then. And this is what he did. He backed his horse down an embankment, and he was going to go hiya. When they came, he was going to race him back, right? So he went hiya, and the horse reared up and fell back on him. Broke his pelvis in 2 places. And of course, he didn't return to school right away, but the horse did. And so they came and got him. They said, you probably won't be able to walk again. But he did. He did. And so sometime later, still a very young man, he's standing by an old prospector, and the old prospector asked him, so how come you don't stand up straight, boy? And my dad said, well, a horse fell on me, and it hurts to stand up straight. And this prospector said to him, how tall do you want to be when you grow up? My dad said, I want to be 6'2". He says, you have the power to be 6'2" and to stand up straight. And this is what my dad told me. And he just pointed to his head and he said, right here, you have the power to do that. Whoa. Well, I want you to know my dad was 6'2" when he joined the Navy, and he always stood up very straight. Very straight. Very straight. This is the power of our mind. Okay, we're going back to sin, heaven, and hell. Let's jump into, I got the red light a minute ago, so I better hurry up with these guys. So heaven and hell. Heaven and hell. What do you think about heaven and hell? Do you think there's a place you go after you pass away? Did you know the word for, well, first of all, I want to say Jesus said, don't look here or there, lo, nor here nor there. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven is within. That's a bottom line basic teaching. And in the New Testament and the Old Testament, there were different words for hell. The word Gehenna was in the New Testament, and Gehenna was the dumping place outside of town for trash where their fires were burning most of the time. So when they said something like, you're going to be in hell if you do that, it was like an analogy. If today someone were writing and said, he'll be in a pickle if he keeps that up, 2,000 years from now, they're going to think there's a giant pickle that we had back then, and somehow you'd be in it, you know? So it's just trying to teach principles, right? The other word for hell in the Old Testament is Sheol, and Sheol was simply a resting place. So if you didn't, abide by the laws, you would be in this resting place, Sheol. I'm not quite sure how I picture that, but anyway, so there's heaven and hell. Are you okay with those? Another thing we really believe in is eternal life. Ernest Holmes surprised me when I read him because I didn't know what to believe happened after I passed away. And he says very clearly, you will know and be known. Very clearly, you will know and be known. And I've come to really believe that. We don't expect you to believe everything that we teach. We expect you to practice and see what's true for you and live that way. Because I think what happens after life is a mystery still. I'm worried about this life right here. But I've known so many people personally that have had those near-death experiences, which are actually kind of death experiences, including a cousin in Montana, including a hospice nurse, who have shared that experience on the other side. Someone in my own community, too. And she said, she would go there dancing and partying and waiting for her, and then she said, I'd wake up here. Why am I still here? So I know there's something there, that our consciousness continues, that life is eternal. And my brain just went numb like that. No, that's not enough. So we really know there's something greater. Now, one of the questions I get is, do we believe in reincarnation? Anybody wonder about that? No? Somebody doesn't care, so we don't need to answer that. I'll tell you what, I don't know. And Science of Mind doesn't have a position on that, just in case you think we do. What I do know is that I was taking a class from Dr. Paul Parker, and he said when someone asked him that, he said, the mind knows no bounds in time or space. And I think what he was saying is our mind could go back and see another life. I don't know, but it's up to you. If you want to believe in reincarnation, some people have great stories about their past lives. Go for it. Right now, right here, the most important thing is that we love. That's the final thing I want to say, is that our principles are founded on love. And if you listen to the song, it's about rising up the mountain with love. So I believe we're here to love. That is the greatest purpose for any of us. And then when things are difficult, we know that there's a power and a presence within us that can bring us back to that space of love and joy and peace and power. And that I want to mention, too, that this is Pride Month. And so it's about loving all who may be different than you. It's about accepting and seeing the divine in those that maybe have been marginalized in the past. And I'm happy to know that in our communities, Science Mind communities, that we celebrate our differences. We appreciate that it takes this diversity to create the greatest good for all. So we honor that, we recognize that, we love that. And I have something I want to read to go out with from Emmett Fox. He's so good about love. You've probably heard this before. Ah, yes. Oops. He says, there is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. Got any difficulties? Use some love. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not throw down. No sin, remember that's just a mistake, that enough love will not redeem. Redeem means to be made whole. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how great the mistake, a sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. So let's all do that. Let's be the happiest and most powerful beings in the world. And as we go out today, let's shine our light brightly. And so it is. So it is. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Woo. Oh, thank you so much. And guess what? I like to pray when I finish a talk, so we're going to do a spiritual mind treatment. We're going to treat our minds spiritually for all good before we move forward in our service with our offertory. So just join me if you would. Once again, turning within to the power, the love, the presence of the divine. Knowing that that is who I am. That is who each person here is. We are the presence of God's love. We live and move and have our being in God's peace. We are powerful in creating the lives our hearts desire. And so I speak a word for those here and those online, knowing that whatever the issue is in your life, we're knowing wholeness and healing and well-being is yours. If the need is healthy, loving, precious relationships, I know that the hearts and minds are opening, that there's a new clarity, a deeper sense of connection, and simply joy, love, respect, honoring one another. Old wounds are healed and released. And relationships move to the highest level ever. If the need is for abundance in any way, financial, an abundance of love, lots of flowers in your garden, I know that there's a dynamic creative activity of the universe right now bringing in whatever is desired and needed in the way of abundance. The floodgates of heaven are open. Financial resources are pouring in from sources known and unknown. If it's work in the world, creative expression, a new job, a different job, healing at your old job, healing at the current job, I know that there's something shifting right now. And from this moment, we see and know the perfect work in the world, using talents, creativity, skills, gifts, knowledge, where each person is appreciated, well rewarded, and doing what they love. And if the need is for health and healing in the body, we take a moment to tune into the body, knowing that every cell, every part, every particle has the divine wisdom and energy in it to know its healthy, natural state. So just take a moment to see that, knowing that healing is happening. What doesn't belong is released. Cells are renewed, re-energized. Every part, every particle, every bone, every muscle, every cell. Whatever's needed to bring that healing about is coming forth. Easily and effortlessly. And so as we look toward the rest of today and beyond, we see that our way is well lit and made easy. As we live in love, as the presence of the divine on earth, we are a healing presence. We are bringing the light. Take a moment to be grateful for the words spoken here, knowing that they're already done. It's already what is. Healing is happening. Wholeness is there. Life is good. I am so grateful for knowing this. And so I can release my word to that infinite presence. And will you join me as we affirm this by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Praise God. Woo! All right. Oh, you're so sweet. See what comes next. And guess what time it is? One of my favorite times, giving time. It's time to take a moment to appreciate. See, some people know what happens next. I was so excited. I'm sorry. We now have the amazing Douglas Latnier and David Copper. Come on down. What would I do without you?
First, when there's nothing but a slow glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone I've cried silent tears full of pride in a world made of steel, made of stone. Now I hear the music, close my eyes, feel the rhythm, wrap around, take a hold of my heart. What a feeling, beings believe it. I can have it all now. I'm dancing through my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive. You can dance right through your life. Now I hear the music, close my eyes, I am rhythm. Wrap around, take a hold of my heart. What a feeling, beings believing. I can have it all now. I'm dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive. You can dance right through your life. What a feeling, beings believing. I am rhythm now. Pictures come alive. You can dance right through your life. What a feeling, I am music now. Beings believing. I am rhythm now. Pictures come alive. You can dance right through your life. What a feeling. Woo.
As Reverend Kathy said, that's a great end to my talk. Thank you, Douglas. Woo, that was so good. Guess what time it is now? It's my favorite time. Giving time. So would you just take a moment to think about this community, this amazing spiritual center, and how we're touching your life, and your life is touching other lives. And then it spreads like a ripple in a pond around the world, really. We are a healing presence right here in Redondo Beach and on planet Earth. And so from that place of appreciation, I know you're giving generously. There's a way to give online if you're online. In your program, there's even a QR code. You can just scan that with your phone and handle it right there. So will you take a breath and join me with our blessing. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper. All those who give and all those who receive. The sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. And thank you to our ushers today, to our tech crew. It's amazing.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And so now I invite you to stand. We're going to have a benediction, and then we'll do the peace song. How does that sound? I'm doing something different since I prayed right after my talk. It says closing prayer, but we already did that. So I invite you to, if you wish, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something is happening right now.
It is this thing called love.
It is this thing called love.
Love is in my mind.
Love is in my mind.
Love is in my body.
Love is in my body.
Love is in my heart. Love is in all that I do.
Love is in all that I do.
And it is great.
And it is great.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And let's join the peace song. Oops.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.